Knock knock.
Welcome to the Shazam cast.
You're supposed to say who's there.
Come on, Logan. Let's go fight aliens.
Oh, burn, Leo, burn.
X-Men featuring Scott Pilgrim.
That's such a double
It's
die.
a fucking X-Men movie.
And you got a butt
Shazam
cast.
Welcome back.
To the Shazam cast.
I'm
I'm Leo. Dan, we're bad at these words.
I am Dan. That's
And
Leo.
I'm Leo. Hello.
I have a somewhat extensive knowledge of comic books
And I have kind of the opposite of that. So, like, not an inextensive knowledge of comic books or an inextensive knowledge of books that are not comics. But I don't know anything about comic books, basically. So, the idea behind the show is that me and Dan watch superhero movies and talk about them to you or to us, to each other, and then you listen to it for free on iTunes.
It's like we're a big happy family, except Leo's an abusive alcoholic father.
And none of us are related. All right. So
this
yeah,
one...
without further ado, as part of X-Men month this month, it's time for us to talk about the X-Men prequels.
Well, prequel and then prequel thing.
Yeah, the X-Men prequel and
Whatever
the hell Days of Future Past is. We'll get into that next episode. But in the meantime, it's time for us to discuss X-Men First Class.
Alright.
So let's summarize the plot really quick for people who decided not to read the synopsis or watch the movie. Basically, we go back in time okay, I shouldn't say that because that's confusing because that's Days of Future Past. We actually go back in time.
So, in 1960, I think 2 or 63, a young Charles Xavier meets a young Eric Lencher, also known as Magneto, and they make the X-Men for the first time and fight evil mutants and communism.
That's right. Yeah, there are communists. There are evil mutants. There's everything you want in a good movie. They almost blow up Cuba.
Yeah.
Mystique changes her alignment. We find out that originally she was good friends with Charles Xavier, and then she met, and then she was in love with Hank McCoy briefly, and then she ended up running out with Eric.
But, I think that's...
Charles Xavier and Eric assemble the first X-Men team.
And are kind of gay.
Yeah, they're thus first class, because it's the first class of the X-Men, of the X school,
I think
the X
we've
Xavier
tried
facility.
to describe this long enough. Let's actually talk about what
that's
we
good.
liked.
Yeah.
Alright,
So, positive things, is that how we do this?
Yeah. How about I start for a change? Mix it up.
Yeah, that'll switch it up.
My positive things. This is actually, I think, the best X-Men movie so far, just because it feels so much like it's just being new and exciting and just having fun. Like, one of the things with the other X-Men movies is that it just didn't feel as fun as this one did. Like, it was just, I'm doing a horrible job of describing it, but...
No, that's true. I understand what you're talking about. This one was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You could see that the filmmakers were having a blast with it. Like, the other X-Men movies, it's just, like, you can tell it's them trying to be like, oh, we gotta be serious and dramatic, you know, life is dark and terrible, and maybe it's just the 60s, maybe that's why it's so, but it also could be just because this is a better movie.
I think it might be that last one. Just a guess, but, first of all, This movie made me realize something that I don't think I had completely internalized before, but that I kind of hinted at, and that is, you don't need Wolverine to make a good X-Men movie.
Yeah, you're right.
Like,
he's not necessary.
I mean, he had a very, very brief cameo.
Oh my god, his cameo was... Can I just say that his cameo was amazing?
It was so amazing. Like...
Okay, basically, Charles and Eric are...
On a montage.
Assembling the first X-Men team, and they're going around meeting all these mutants, and they walk into a bar, and Wolverine is there, and they go up, and they're like, I'm Charles Xavier, and I'm Eric Lencher. And Wolverine looks up, he's smoking a cigar, and he's just like...
Go fuck yourself.
It's amazing.
It's the best thing. But yeah, this movie made me realize that Wolverine does not need to be an essential part of the story. you know, you can. There are more compelling characters in the X-Men universe. There's all these people who I bet you haven't even heard of. If you're like just a casual X-Men fan, I mean, you got fucking Havoc and.
Like me, yeah, I've never heard of Havoc or Darwin or Angel or well, there was Angel in
Angel Salvador.
There was the other Angel in Last Stand, but then
Yeah, I got confused about that a bit actually because I looked up who Angel Salvador was in the comics. She's weird, like really weird.
Well, I'll say she's a stripper with butterfly wings. So
That's not the weird part.
no, of course not.
I don't think I should get into the weird part.
Do I want to know the weird
I
part?
don't know if you want to know the weird part. If we get emails at shazamcast@gmail.com, maybe we'll talk about the weird
That's clever,
part.
yeah. You dropped in the email there so people will know what
You
it
know, a
is.
little
I
subtle.
see what you did there,
And
you clever
if
boy.
we get like, did you just call me a clever boy?
I just called you a clever boy. What of it?
Okay. Anyways, but yeah, if people ask about it, maybe I'll do like a little mini thing or whatever. But anyways, good things.
Dan talks about comics, except for all the other parts where he talks about comics.
Okay, anyways, good things. The fucking who are they? Let me pull up the guys who played young Magneto and young Charles Xavier are amazing.
God. Okay, so I just want to say for the first thing that I love young Xavier in this movie. He is. I thought he was just really, really great, and I could like. I don't know. He was a really, really awesome character in general.
Yeah.
As the film wore on, I gradually became less of a fan of young Magneto. He was like I was more fond of him toward the beginning, and as the film wore on, he became less likable to me.
Mm-hmm.
But that might also be because Magneto was becoming less likable of a person.
Yeah.
Either way, he's awesome again in Days of Future Past, so
These
it
actors
doesn't matter.
are fucking incredible. Like,
They're great.
and
to follow in the footstep, like, you know,
yeah,
they
they have some big shoes to fill, and they
Yes.
do not miss a beat. They just go at it, like, you know, fucking
Fantastic.
Yeah. And I thought like most of the actors were really good.
Jennifer Lawrence, I thought, was a
Yeah,
really great young Mystique.
Yeah, she's like surprisingly good in this, and like, I just think that she just did a really good job. Yeah, I don't know, with all the makeup and shit.
Definitely, yeah.
And I thought that most of the actors were really good.
That's for
Let
sure.
me see what else did I like about this film. I don't know how to say it. Just like the feel of it. It just feels more like an X-Men movie, you know?
That makes a lot of sense. I can see what you're getting at there.
Like just, I'm not doing a good.
Well, yeah, like there was the training montage, and I felt
Yeah.
like all the X-Men movies kind of needed a training montage because it's it's a school for learning to be like awesome X-Men, and there was never a training montage, and I feel like that's what all the movies were missing. Like one of the things that really like lit up this movie for me was the training montage where it was like Banshee, Beast,
Oh, yeah, I should talk about
Havoc, and Angel and Mystique all like learning to and Magneto too, all like learning to control their powers and just have a blast, and it was really cool to watch them develop. I'm a big fan of training montages in movies personally, just in general, and I felt like this one was really, really great.
Yeah, but so yeah, other than that, I also should talk about the villains a bit.
Ooh, the villains.
Yeah, just
okay.
brief mini summary back again. The villain in this is Sebastian Shaw, played by Kevin Bacon, and his group of people, which is Emma Frost, Azazel, and Riptide.
Tornado dude. Oh,
That's-
ripped.
yeah.
Oh, he has a name. I didn't even realize he was never named in the movie
That happens. But
because they cared so little.
but so remember how back in so many years ago when we were talking about X-Men 2, I mentioned that Mystique is Nightcrawler's mother, right?
Nightcrawler, yes.
So this movie has Nightcrawler's father, Azazel.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Did you not see that connection?
That didn't occur to me. No, that's clever.
Yeah.
I can see that now.
The blue,
The red guy,
tail
yeah.
and the teleporting around and stuff.
Oh, of course. That makes so much sense now.
I was waiting for that.
He is colored, you know,
Yeah.
like he's a bright color and he teleports around and he has a tail. Of
So,
course
yeah.
he's Nightcrawler's dad.
So yeah,
That makes a lot of
that's
sense.
just a little fun fact.
And we'll get into Sebastian Shaw later because I have some things to say
Yeah.
about him.
I thought he was okay. I wish he had a British accent just because that's how it was in the comics. Should I talk a little bit about them in the comics, or
I'm sorry, Sebastian Shaw was a comics character?
like, literally everyone is a fucking character, all of them.
I guess that makes sense, yeah. No, I understand that. Okay. You know what? Yes, you can talk about
Okay, so-
the comics, and then I'll go into Sebastian Shaw and why I was not such a big fan of him in this movie, but we'll get into that.
All right, but yeah, in the comics, Sebastian Shaw is the leader of the Hellfire Club, which was mentioned in the movie. It was the nightclub that Moira McTaggart snuck into at the beginning, and it has this weird like chess theme, and it's basically like just mutants being, you know, it's a lot like the Brotherhood of Mutants from the first one, but higher class, and everyone has a name after a chess character. Like Sebastian Shaw is, I think, the Black King, and then Emma Frost is the White Queen, and yeah, so.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. All right, and that's the end of that. But
Speaking of which, the secret agent lady, she was good.
Yeah.
I liked her acting.
okay, I want to mention. Well, I'll talk about that in my problems. But
Okay.
I don't know. I can't really think of anything else. I really fucking liked it.
Yeah, there was a lot of really good stuff to it. So when I mention all my problems, keep in mind that I do really love this movie. It was a great movie, and I did truly enjoy it. There are just certain things, and they're all, come to think of it, they're all like quite little things. Like, you know,
Nitpicky?
I don't have many major problems
Yeah,
with the movie.
neither do I. But enough of me not knowing what the hell to talk about. Let's go into Leo not knowing what the hell to talk about.
All right, let's see. Positive things. 1. Intriguing opening. You've made me curious, X-Men. You've made me curious, is my first note. And by that I mean that the opening to First Class it's a scene of little Magneto during the Holocaust, and the point is that it's great. Again, they're all great. All the openings to the X-Men movies are always great. They know how to do the openings.
Mm-hmm.
That's just something that X-Men does really well. The openings.
Mm-hmm.
They're good at that. Let's see. I said I love Young Man Xavier. I already mentioned that. And the fact that I wrote down this note, and I see my face as I write it, like, it says, I actually really like this movie, because I went in completely not expecting to like it. Like, I was not sure that I
What
would
were you
enjoy it at
expecting?
all, but I don't know, it just seemed like a weird concept. It was like, you saw all this stuff, let's go back to the beginning and see how it all began. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's great, but I was afraid that I wasn't going to like it, and I was kind of sad about that, because I always want to like a movie, and I got my wish. I did like it.
Yeah.
Let's see. I love the origin of Cerebro, which is that Beast was the one who originally came up with the original thing for it, but the thing is, in the original trilogy, they say that it was designed by Magneto and Xavier, and that's why Magneto knows all about it and how it works, and he could spill the beans to Stryker. So...
Okay, here's where the timeline gets royally fucked. Like,
Oh, you think the timeline's getting royally fucked here? Just wait for Days of Future Past.
it doesn't actually get
That's-
as fucked though. Well, I mean, it does and it doesn't.
Okay, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Alright, but,
or not in a minute, but next episode. Let's see. The Wolverine cameo was priceless. It was just
Yeah.
priceless. So great. Let's see. I like the training montage. Overall, Jennifer Lawrence presented a good Mystique. I don't have any more notes. I don't have any positive notes that we didn't already go through that we
Yeah.
didn't talk about. Oh, here's something good. The chemistry between Raven and Hank, or Mystique and Beast, was actually pretty great. I thought they threw in the almost kiss scene a bit quick, but just like because they had only known each other for like 2 scenes. But I like the concept of it, and I like that they're united in a common cause for at least part of the movie about how neither of them, you know, it's not easy being blue.
Mhm.
And the two of them... Well, Beast wasn't blue yet, but that's... whatever. Point is, for the sake of the joke, those two shared some really fun chemistry. Jennifer Lawrence and damn it, I don't remember his name.
Nicholas Hoult.
Nicholas Hoult was great. I mean, he's no
Kelsey Grammer.
what's his name? Yeah, damn it. I always forget Kelsey Grammer's name. I always forget the name of anyone who plays Beast in a movie, which is, 2 people, but okay. Yeah, I really liked Nicholas
Hoult.
Holt. Thank you. Okay.
I really like
all right.
Nicholas in this movie.
I'll edit it to make it sound like I didn't take that pause.
No, don't you fucking dare.
It's funny because now that we're talking about it, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't do that anyway, even if I wanted to. Even if I did. I don't take a lot of awkward pauses, trust me. I don't just edit out weird awkward pauses.
Anyways.
Me and Dan just don't sit here in silence for half an hour every episode contemplating the meaning of life. What are you guys talking about? All right, I didn't have any positive notes that we didn't already go
Yeah,
through.
here's
So
the thing is, this is just like a really good movie, and like we're probably forgetting,
yeah,
but just anything we don't talk about, assume we
just
like.
assume we liked
Yeah,
it.
I mean, unless it's the weird naked people that show up halfway through and start like humping things, we love that part.
Excuse me?
Moving on. Do you have any like?
Did I miss some part of the movie?
No, but
Oh, do you mean Half Naked Emma Frost?
no, I'm fucking around, dude.
Oh, okay. Because there was that.
Yeah, I was like, I was honestly like, wait, do you really think that what I'm talking about actually happened?
No, of course.
Okay.
I'm just
All
saying.
right.
Like,
Do you have any questions before we do bad things?
I don't have any. Oh, wait a minute. No, I don't. No, I do not. Unfortunately, I would, because I don't want to go into the bad things because
Alright.
it'll make it sound okay.
Alright, let me do my bad.
Once again,
things.
I want to clarify this. We do like this movie quite a lot. There are just some things that we had major discrepancies with. Do you want to say your bad
Yeah,
things first, or shall I?
I'll do mine since you always appear to have much more, have a lot more bad things to talk about. So I'll just say mine. This is more of a nitpick, but I wish that Banshee and Moira McTaggart were Scottish. Or was it Irish? I think it's one of those. I think it's Scottish. I'm probably offending all of our Scottish. Hold on, I'm googling this really quickly. Leo, distract them.
Beast looks like Mike Myers in The Cat in the Hat. He does. Beast Hank looks like Mike Myers in The Cat in the Hat. Like, his transformation scene was awesome, but the final product is just
Oh my god!
odd. It's just
That killed me.
the weird little, like, the snout thing that he has. But I didn't like
Oh
it.
my
I didn't like the
God.
way they did Beast.
I'm dead now. Oh my god. So there.
Kelsey Grammer looked awesome in the Beast makeup. I don't understand why they couldn't just do that again.
He's Irish.
Banshee?
Yes, he is.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Okay, but yeah, I wish before we talk about Leo, what Leo just fucking said, yeah, Banshee is originally Irish, and so is Moira McTaggart, and I wish they had retained their accents because I feel
Wait, I'm confused about something. How do you have an accent in a comic book?
just the way they're written.
Oh,
And
right,
also
that
there
makes
can be
sense.
like blurbs saying, meet Sean Cassidy, the Irish mutant with the love of smoking crack, or whatever.
Is that what Banshee was all about?
No, he smoked a pipe, not crack.
No.
But,
I can't see why I can't do both.
anyways, so, before I continue with my bad stuff, can you make it specifying what the fuck you meant by that?
Okay, if anyone's ever seen the live-action adaptation of Dr. Seuss's The Cat in the Hat,
Let's hope
starring
you're
Mike
not.
Myers as the cat,
Let's hope
they will
you
know what
not.
I'm talking about. If you don't, look it up. I'll put a picture, or I'll put a link to a picture in the description. Beast, after Hank... Okay, so Hank McCoy starts out as a person in this movie, just like he looks like a normal human being, except he has super feet. We talked about this in one of the previous episodes where Dan explained to me what Beast was originally. He was just a man who had super feet. And then he made himself an antidote to try to fix himself so he would not have super feet. And then when he injected himself with it, he accidentally made himself also blue and furry, and he kept the feet.
Alright.
And he was like, damn it, now I don't just have super feet, I'm also a big blurry bluey blob.
Yeah.
And in X-Men The Last Stand, one of the few positive things about it was how awesome Kelsey Grammer was as the Beast.
Not the Beast.
He-
Just Beast.
Or yeah, just Beast. But he looked awesome in the makeup, he played the role
Mhm.
awesomely, he was a great voice for it, he was a great look for it, he was just generally awesome
Yeah.
for that part. Nicholas Hoult was great as Hank,
Well,
and I liked him as early Hank,
He
kind of
wasn't-
being like,
he wasn't broad enough, which is such a fucking nitpick. I don't know. He just seemed like he didn't seem like I don't know, big. He didn't seem big enough, and he didn't feel like beastie enough. If that makes sense. I feel like he should have been like bulkier and broader.
well, I think that was the whole thing. It was like, that was kind of the whole point with Hank being such like a scrawny
Yeah,
little nerd.
but then when you look at like, well, if you look at like how he looked in the original comic book, he looks like just like a hairless gorilla, basically. Not like
Jesus.
well, like figure wise, and I don't know. It just looked really awkward to me having this like scrawny guy just have like these awkward little hand feet.
That's interesting. I kind of like the scrawny guy, but
I don't know. And I also
I don't know.
I didn't think
Agree to disagree, I guess.
Nicholas Hoult was the best actor. He just like seemed to he was trying to be too quiet and too nerdy, and I think he should have like, done something. Because like when you look at like tried to be a bit more Kelsey Grammer-ish, I guess. Because if you look at him in Last Stand, he's like he's like Bostonian and like outgoing and very
You always have the same problems with movies that depict younger versions of characters. You didn't like Young Stryker because he wasn't Brian Cox enough. You didn't like Young Beast because he wasn't Kelsey Grammer enough. Well, I don't know. You were fine with Magneto and Charles,
Yeah, I
so
like
guess
him.
whatever.
and I liked Young Mystique in this one.
Yeah, that's right.
So
Never mind.
That's like 3-2 then.
Yeah, well, this movie is involved with prequel characters,
Mhm.
so I'm not surprised that you
Yeah. Alright.
got to have a positive outlook on some of them.
Uh-huh.
But anyways,
Alright, I have a few more bad things
as
get
do
through
I.
them. The dialogue was a bit weird. Because there were a few moments, like when they were going to the strip club to pick up Angel, when she was like, you cats know that it's double for the two of you. And it's like, okay, that seemed, they would say cats and they would say other stuff like that. But like when you see the scene in the military base when they're just all hanging out, it feels very modern. And like, I do not fucking know how kids talked back in the days of the 1960s, but it just, to me, it felt really modern. And I don't know how I felt about about how modern it was and how modern dialogue felt with
That
the
makes a
young
lot of
with the
sense.
young people, anyways.
Yeah, I can see that being, yeah, it was a little odd, like, yeah, what's his name? Hank Summers. No, what was Havoc's name?
Have a Alex Summers.
Is he related to Scott?
Yes.
He must be,
So,
right?
in the comic book, Alex is Scott's younger brother. But in the films, he's his father, I think,
What?
or his older brother. I'm not. I think it's his father.
Interesting.
I'm not 100%
Alrighty.
sure on that. But
Well, yeah, they both shoot red lasers, even if
Mm.
Scott's are out of his eyes and Alex's are in ring form.
I don't know.
But,
But
it runs in the family.
vaguely. But yeah, that's yeah, that's
Yeah,
really about-
they spoke kind of modernly. That was odd.
I feel like I have other notes. The girl who played Emma Frost, January Jones, looked amazing. Like, she looked straight out of the comic.
Yeah, in the costume.
Okay, hey, actually, I forgot to mention this when I was talking about my good things. The costumes actually look like X-Men! They're yellow
Oh, yeah.
and blue and bright, and yet they look somewhat realistic, and I love that. But yeah, and all the villains' costumes looked really good as well. But
Mm.
January just was kind of flat in her role, and I mean, she wasn't really given anything to work with, mind you. But
That's true.
she just like didn't seem the most engaged.
I'm impressed that her name is January and she got Emma Frost. Like that's
What?
her name is January and she got Emma Frost.
Oh.
Emma Frost.
Oh.
January.
Oh.
Frost.
Oh.
January.
Fuck off.
Frost.
Fuck off. Anyways.
I have to spell it out for you like 50 times.
No, I got it. I got it like within the first. It was just like so stupid.
I know.
I don't.
Oh, I got something.
Oh yeah, go. If I think of anything.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the way that they first introduced the concept of all the X-Men having their code names is really silly.
Yeah.
It's like the young X-Men are in the military base and they're like getting drunk and hanging out or whatever. They're like showing off their powers and being happy.
Mhm.
And then when Magneto and Xavier come back with like serious news and serious faces, they see these guys goofing off and they're both really grumpy. And then Mystique is like all happy and she's like, hey, you know, we've been thinking about it and we decided we should all have code names since we're part of the military now. And we said that you should be Professor X and you should be Magneto.
I loved Eric's reaction. He was just like, what did he say? He's just like, charming or something. What is it? I forget.
Yeah, it's something like that. He was like, oh, well, great.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. That was, yeah. But I liked Eric's reaction, but I didn't like the premise of it as a thing in general.
I feel you with that.
Yeah, I don't
Alright.
know. Just odd. Because in the original trilogy, there was like this hype made about the X-Men and the way that they like got their names because anonymity is a mutant's most important tool and stuff. So it was like just kind of odd to have this thing where they were, you know, it was like made up by some kids in a military base while they were getting drunk.
So my next, note is that they killed off the black guy.
Yes, I have that same note. It says Darwin dies first.
Yeah. I know that they need to build up tension, but out of all the characters in that base, Darwin was probably the most likable, and
Yeah, he was so great. I love Darwin.
he was just and he was like willing to like risk his life to save his friend, and like
He was so
he was
great.
so awesome. And then it was just like, hey, you're dead now. And it's just,
It was.
I think he's like mentioned once after he dies. It's like they killed Darwin. I mean, wait, he doesn't even have like an actual name. He's just fucking Darwin.
Yeah, they never actually gave his real name, did they?
No.
That's odd.
So yeah,
Well, yeah,
they just
it's like, couldn't they have killed like? Personally, I would have been fine had they killed Angel because she wasn't particularly interesting.
yeah.
She had no personality besides being a stripper and having wings.
Mhm.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I would have been okay with that as well.
And besides that, I also want to bring up that Sebastian is making a speech to the young X-Men telling them about how it will be so much better if they join him and leave Xavier. And he's talking about, like, you know, do we really want to be, abused and crushed by the human population? And he's talking about, like, something or other. And then he says enslaved, and the camera cuts to Darwin. And I was like,
Yeah.
X-Men, no, don't
Yeah,
do
that.
that.
That was very much like, yeah, I got that.
Welcome to the Racist Cast.
Again, I think we made that joke already.
We've said that joke 3 times now, yeah.
Take a drink every time we say welcome to the Racist Cast. Anyways.
Yep.
But, ooh, lightning. Sorry, there's like a gigantic thunderstorm happening outside.
It's so huge. Like, what?
Oh, God.
How did this happen?
I keep fucking expecting Thor to just come down with, like, lightning beer or whatever.
Well, yeah, lightning beer. Yeah, it's... I don't know. This is just... Yeah, this is the heat of summer. Of course, there's going to be giant thunderstorms, but On the other hand, it's just so weird and unexpected. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Here's what I got. Here's a fun little negative-y thing. The actor playing Sebastian Shaw was overwhelmingly evil to the point where it was a little bit silly. Like, personally, I don't know. I think X-Men movies don't really need villains very much because the conflict between human and mutant is so strong and there's so much tension as it is that is often enough. Like, there is not
I get that.
a good or a bad. It's about the misunderstanding of this, like, you know, the humans fearing extinction and the X-Men just, you know, the mutants just trying to survive. Sometimes things like Stryker to help it along are great, but Shaw is just kind of...
I don't know. I thought
don't
it was
know.
fun, and I thought his power was weird and cool and, like, whatever.
Okay, has Hollywood lost the ability to make villains in superhero, especially Marvel movies, anything besides Extremis from Iron Man 3?
What?
Sebastian Shaw's power was basically Extremis from Iron Man 3.
No, it wasn't.
Was it not? Or
I don't even.
feel
I don't know. I haven't seen Iron Man 3 since it fucking came out because I didn't like it particularly much. But
it's the thing where the fanboy,
it's just like they shoot fire or whatever. In this, it's like he absorbs radiation and also shoots it out. But
no, yeah, I guess it's not quite the same thing. Their thing is like, yeah, they can like absorb heat and then use it as a weapon, but I guess it's not quite the same thing. I think I'm thinking of something else. I saw this movie a little while back, so I might be missing
I don't
something.
know.
But forget it. Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's any other negative notes. I actually have one last positive note. The action is really good in this.
The action is great. Yeah, it's really, not only is it like fun, but it's also really clear. You can see what's going on.
I fucking hate when it's just like, oh damn, sorry, giant lightning bolt. I hate when the camera's just like shaking and like looks like whoever is filming just like is hopping on one leg while rubbing their head and patting their belly. It's just like, we want to see
really odd,
stuff, guys.
Why do you think it makes sense that the camera would be shaking? Like, I
Cough,
understand that if...
Man of Steel, cough!
I haven't seen that movie yet,
Oh
but
my
I'm
God.
curious, because you've said that twice now
Oh my
about
God.
shaky
Oh my
cameras.
God.
So,
slight,
you've intrigued me.
Slight note, the shaking cam in Man of Steel is so bad. Just,
I can imagine.
oh my God. We'll get into that in a few months, but anyways.
Yeah, we got a little while, but...
Do we have any more bad notes, or are we done?
I got something
yeah.
else. I just want to say that the kid that plays Little X doesn't seem...
Little X. I like that.
Yeah,
Little X.
Little X. It's
Little X.
tiny Charles Xavier, Little X. Doesn't seem like much like a kid. Like, he was an odd child actor in that he was... I don't know, he felt very strangely adult, but then I realized that that's probably good because it shows, like, how Xavier developed and that he was such an adult from the very start.
Mm-hmm.
And then he became more of a child when he was an adult, and then when he was an older man, he became adult again, I guess. I don't know.
I'm lost.
I don't it makes sense in my head.
Of course it does.
Okay.
Leo. Of course it does. Alright, I think that's about it. We want to do final notes, or...
That's mostly all I can think of that I would have to say about First Class. I would definitely recommend it to someone if you're looking for a good, like, action superhero movie to watch. Even if you're not terribly familiar with the original X-Men material, you won't get terribly lost because it's all happening beforehand. So, it's pretty good. There's a lot of good stuff in this movie. If you don't mind wading through a little bit of crap, you're sure to have a great time.
Not a lot of crap, is there?
Yeah, no, a little bit. Like, there's really not much. Like, it's mostly inadvertent racism. Sebastian Shaw's a little bit silly, and Beast looks like the Cat in the Hat. That's really all I got.
All right.
That's like the most negative stuff I have.
So.
But yeah. So you want to give your final
do you have
rating?
a number?
I have a number in mind. Yes.
All right. So let's hear it.
I would give this movie personally a at least an 8, maybe an 8.5 even, because it is really damn good.
Alright. My final thoughts are similar to his. I think that this is probably the best X-Men movie just because it's willing to be silly and fun, but also deal with with issues. Like,
yeah, and it's silly and fun in a good way.
yeah, it's not like silly and fun in a stupid way where it's like just it takes away from the plot. It's silly and fun that adds character and makes the characters more interesting and more likable.
Because you can have silly and fun without the pissing bear. Like, you don't need the pissing bear to have a bouncy movie. Like,
yes, that's a great example.
If you're looking for, a wisecrack here, like a whack pop there, or a pop goes the weasel everywhere, everybody watch this movie. It's an 8.5 at least. Young Xavier looks like the Cat in the Hat.
Okay,
and I'm moving
thank
on.
you, Leo. Anyways, but yeah, my thoughts. Like I said, it's okay to be silly and fun, but this just feels the most like an X-Men movie. And yeah, it has problems, but like, what doesn't? And I feel like it's just. This is like really what differentiates it from Origins. It's really smart.
That's right.
And it has really good characters, and it's just really well written.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd give this movie I think along with Leo, I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
All right.
So fantastic. We'll catch you next time for
Thank you for
X-Men Days of Future Past.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes and.
I add that all at the end. There's a whole big thing about what we do. I made an outro.
Another giant fucking lightning. All right. Well.
Yeah, Thor is coming, my friends, and he's mad because the Sentinels. We'll get into that next time on the Shazam cast.
Shit, did that?
Bye.
Did you fucking hear that thunder?
Yeah, no, I heard that.
Oh my God.
We're recording in the same city, so.
Okay, I don't.
That's strange. All right, bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Shazam cast. If you'd like to take a minute to leave us a review on iTunes, we'd really appreciate it. It only takes a minute or two, and it really helps us get the word out there about this show of ours. If you're listening to this episode on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to hear all our latest comic-y material as soon as it comes out. We're also on Facebook, facebook.com/ShazamCast, and on WordPress, shazamcast.wordpress.com. So make sure you take a look at those sometime. Thanks. We love you. Some of you. The cool ones.